greetings again. How are we? I hope you're all well. It's a beautiful day here in Tasmania today. We're heading into our summertime very, very soon, and it is just glorious. Birds are twittering. You might hear the occasional bee or the fly come through here, but don't worry about it. It's all good. Today we're going to talk about the psychic senses. People use the different words for clairaudience, clairsentience, clairgustience, all these clair words. I tend to keep it pretty simple, but I am going to use them today. I've written them down because I have trouble remembering which one is what. So don't laugh. I just forget because I generally say seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling and knowing. They're the different senses that you use when you work on your spiritual path. We normally have the 5 senses, but when you work on your spiritual path, sometimes you just know stuff and you don't know why. You just know, all right? And when you can start trusting that, that's when your life starts changing, because that's you tuning into your dominant sense. So for me, my dominant sense is feeling. I feel the energies when they're around. If you've watched my videos on Facebook, quite often when I'm doing my spiritual videos, there'll be some spirits who just come wandering through the house and just want to stay and have a chat, or they could be my guides, but generally they just feel like random people who have just turned up, and they get in my space and they make me feel a bit unusual, because energy affects me quite a lot, especially other people's energy, not just the living, also the non-physical, as I prefer to call them. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the 7 different psychic senses, what they are, and some of the things that you can notice when you are using those particular senses. Okay, I know I'm a feeler. I've already mentioned that. I'm a feeler first, but I also see and hear when particular types of spirits want to use those ways of showing me information. All right, because I've been doing this work a long time, I use a modality of different senses, you know, different feelings, different knowing, seeing, touching, tasting, smelling, all that sort of thing. Some people have a predominant one that they use all their life and they don't get any others. Some have multitudes, all right? We don't get to choose. We're just given them, and we just work and we just practice on using them, okay? So you'll see me look down at my notes because this stuff is a little bit complicated and I just wanted to make sure I get it right, okay? So the 7 clair senses, you may find that you naturally do one, all right? Like I'm a feeler, so I feel everything. I've asked my spirit guides when I first started doing my work. So you're walking the path. There you go. Sometimes they'll slip words into my mouth without me actually putting them there, which is kind of embarrassing, but we won't go there. So when you start using these senses, you may have a dominant one. You can ask management to send you other ones as well that you want to learn how to use. All right. It's pretty much you can choose. Sometimes you naturally get them and that's it. Other times, if you're open, it's all about how open you are to doing this work and how much time you want to give the practice. Because they're not just like, bam, you get it and that's it. You have to do the work. All right. So if you want to learn how to hear, psychically hear, go away fly. If you want to learn how to psychically hear, you've got to look out for the signs. All right. You get online, you get on Mr. Google and you look through, you know, what's clairaudient mean? What are some of the signs? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Things that you can look for to see if you are developing that particular skill. All right. It all comes down to homework. If you listen to a lot of my videos or watch some of my Facebook videos, it's all about doing the homework. Because management, guides, angels, archangels will support you in doing the work, but they're not going to do it for you. All right. So it's all about knuckling down and going, right, I want to learn to be clairaudient, and you put your focus on that and see how you go. So I started with feeling naturally. So I just feel the energies naturally in items, objects, people, disembodied people. And then I went, okay, I need more information, please, because I do this work for a living. I need to be able to see, hear. I don't taste much or smell much. They're the 2 that don't really do anything for me. But the others I pretty much use all the time. All right, so let's get into it. Enough of me waffling. So the 7 clairs and what they mean. So clairsentience, I've put that first because that's the one that I work with. All right. You feel emotions from people. You can feel sensations. You can feel their thoughts, right? Energy, emotions have an energy, thoughts have an energy. So if someone's feeling a hated thought at you, for me, I'm feeling the hatred coming at me, all right? They don't even have to verbalize it, all right? So my feeling is I can pick up on emotions that people are sending. It's just a natural thing that I do, but I've got really good protection habits now, so I don't tend to take many of them on board. But it's part of the work I do. So this is why I've been given this skill first, is because I go in with my house healing and I feel what is in the place, you know, and that's just how it works for me. So you can feel sensations like other people's pain and emotions. When I used to do readings all the time, if someone sat down next to me and management wanted to show me a particular thing the person needed to look at, I'd get a pain in my foot or in my leg, or my eye would start hurting, and I'd go, oh, do you need to go to the optometrist? My eye is like really hurting and gone out of focus. So they can show you a person's physical ailments through your body sometimes when you're a feeler. You don't take it on board. It lasts for maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes, and then it just dissipates. It's a way of you getting the information. Personal habits. When I have energies that are quite close, this is your non-physical beings, I quite often will start picking up on doing particular things like hand gesturing. I do that naturally, but I'll be doing different sort of hand gesturing, eye rolling. My jaw and my speech will all go out of alignment. I know that's one of the signs when I have certain types of energies in my energy field, because they affect me in that physical way. All right. And then I'll sit with my pendulum and I'll just ask, who are you? What do you need? Sometimes they talk to you in your head. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they need help because they can't talk to you. Not all spirits can just get into your space and talk to you in your dreams. Some of them just don't know how. So they use things like cards, pendulums, mediumship, all sorts of different methods for their divination and connecting with you. Okay. Sometimes, and this one's really funny, you can be walking through the supermarket, or you go to the movies, or you go to the hairdresser, and you've just sat in the chair that somebody else has been sitting in, and you're all of a sudden got a stomach ache, or you feel a bit sick, or you've got strange weird things going on in your head, or your foot starts hurting. That's because you've sat in somebody else's energy. All right. This is something I've always done naturally my whole life. Didn't quite know what it was till mid-30s. Go away, fly. And then I started tuning in. I was like, the aha moment of, yeah, they said to me, yeah, she's got it. Took a while. And then I started using it to my advantage. I'd go, okay, why am I feeling this? Is there someone here? Am I getting this from a client for a reading? Is it a disembodied person that needs some help with something? So I started using it as a tool. And that's what these are. These 7 clair senses are tools to put in your spiritual toolkit. It's what they are. And they do require homework. They keep banging on about the homework side of things. So that's what they do. Now, claircognizance is the sense of knowing. You just know stuff. And when people are starting on their spiritual path, this is the one that quite often is the first one that people get. Or they tune into this one and then they're given another one and this one kind of fades away. So claircognizance can present itself in dreams. You have premonitions. Quite often people will ring me and go, oh my God, I had this premonition about something happening. And I'm going, yes, it's a warning, but it's also a good thing because now you can plan around that. If it's something personal, it's within your life space, you can plan around that. It's a little bit like a warning. It's a premonition. You're being shown what's coming from that very moment. And if you change what's coming from that very moment, that end outcome most likely won't happen because you've had the warning about it. Now, this is a funny one. I'll tell you this. This is a little example. I love giving personal examples. I woke up one morning and I kept seeing the front of a white car. Just the front corner where the headlight is. And I'm like, okay, you're showing me a white car. Does that mean I have to be aware on the road? Well, obviously, that means I've got to be aware on the road or in a car park. And And I'm like, okay, white car. There's about a bajillion white cars on the road. And they kept showing me. I find I get premonitions when something, like they'll come closer when the event is getting closer. So what I did was I just looked around, white cars everywhere. I ended up giving up until I was going through a set of traffic lights in a 60 zone, doing 70. And the front of the white car just happened to be the corner of a police car. Anyway, they pulled me up. We had a chat. I got a warning because I don't ever speed. All right, like seriously, I'm like a granny on the road. Sorry, grannies, that's just the way it is. I'm a pretty good driver. But that white car, once I'd had that interaction with that police person, the image of the corner of that white car disappeared. All right? So that told me that be aware of what you're being shown is a warning about something. Another example, these are all very relevant, is I used to work at a particular primary school. And I kept seeing a certain name being shown to me. It was a letter of the alphabet. And this letter of the alphabet kept showing itself to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm in a classroom. There's this, and this child with that letter starting their name. What am I going to do with that? And then I remembered some of those kids live close to where I live. And they ride their bikes quite late at night. And I was coming home one day, came around this corner, and who shot in front of me? This is in the dark, no headlights, no reflective clothing, nothing. This child literally pulled straight across in front of my car, and I had been aware. I got told, this is the corner to watch out. This particular letter of the alphabet, this child's name, one of them will come around this corner. And that happened literally as it was shown to me. All right? Child was safe. I was safe. There was no interaction because I listened to what I'd been shown. All right. So literally, when you get the claircognizance, you start knowing things. I was going to say seeing. It's kind of seeing, but you're knowing as well. When you start knowing things, take notice of it. Really important to go, okay, what are you showing me? What are you showing me? I had a friend ring me once and she was in a real panic about it because she has these premonitions. And I said, that's great. You're starting on your spiritual path. This is what you've always wanted. But she's like, oh my God, it's a warning and the kids are involved. And I went, you know what? That's being given to you so you can prepare, so that you can be ready and you can change the path of that event. Like seriously, that is why it's being shown to you. All right, because of your awareness. All right, and she was really happy. That helped her settle, and what she was seeing never came to an eventuation because she changed her route home or she did something different with the kids and it didn't happen. So there you go. Premonitions are one of the first things, and people go, oh, I'm not psychic, but I just saw last week in my dream this thing, and oh my God, yesterday it happened. I go, well, there you go. We are all psychic. All right, it's whether you choose to believe in it, whether you choose to do the homework. All right, but we all have it. It's a natural thing that we have, that we're born with. As we grow up, go to school, we get conditioned to not use it because it's not seen until now in 2020. It's becoming more the norm, but still it's one of those things that is not talked about every day by everybody. I do, because that's just what I do. Okay, all right, premonitions. Claircognizance requires trust and faith in where the information is coming from. Okay, that's the other thing too, is just to be aware of the types of information that you get. All right, all those things I've talked about previously, some of them could have had a very negative end, but they were given to me early and I was able to be aware of them happening. Sometimes when you do your spiritual work, you are going to get energies and beings talking to you that are going to give you information that is not useful, not helpful. You can tell by the tone they use, the way it's delivered, the type of information, and how you feel when you're receiving the information. If your glands start running, start hurting under here, and your stomach's hurting, and your throat feels tight, and you get a headache, the information's not coming from a positive source. So just tell it to go away. Like seriously. Because there are so many different types of energies around us all the time. We have to focus on the ones that we want to work with. Okay, I deal with them all, so I have a lot of background, personal experience in dealing with all sorts of energies, right from the the high vibrational right down to the lowest you could possibly think of. All right. I've got lots of processes in place to work with all sorts of energies. All right. So this is where this information comes from, is my personal experiences and how I manage it. And I just make it natural, make it easy. You can all do this. Like, seriously, it's not hard. Clairvoyance is the seeing sense. Okay, so with clairvoyance, you can see with your physical eyes, but you can also see with the third eye that's up here. Quite often I'll be having, because remember I do this all the time, quite often I'll be having a conversation with someone, like a physical person in a body, and I'll be having a movie playing up here at exactly the same time that I'm looking at them and talking to them. And this will be information that is relevant to their lives. So generally it's clients. I don't go randomly giving out information to people that I'm talking to, because that's not appropriate. You can ask permission first before you give people psychic information, because it's not ethical to do it unless you ask permission first. I'm very, very big on the permission side of things. So when you're seeing through your third eye, you can get colours, shapes, symbols. You can see people in photographic form. You can see movies. You can see snippets. Like, I get flashes quite a lot. It'd be like a flash of someone's face. Like the car that I saw, the police car. It was the flash of the front part of the, I don't know, the chassis, whatever you want to call it. The front part where the headlight was. It would have been nice if they had to show me the police sign, you know, police. Oh, they don't always give us too much information. We have to work for it. So I had to use my awareness around what that was. Okay. Where are we? So the flashes of information can just last for a second. And that just goes like, bam. You're like, whoa, what was that? You've got to remember it. All right. This is about being aware 24/7. All right. Even in your dreams. Right. If you've asked for something, if you've asked your guides, angels, archangels for a particular something that you want to manifest in your life, then you've got to be aware of how they deliver the information to you. And if you're a clairvoyant person, you may get the information in a dream. All right. You may see it on the side of a bus. It might be in a magazine. You know, there might be someone at school that goes, hey, I just saw this. And they're showing you this sign or this piece of paper with something written on it. And you go, whoa, that's just what I needed. Be aware and open to how the information is delivered. Clairvoyance. My guides, because I don't always listen when they're talking to me. I'm always off on another tangent doing something else. They will quite often give me a really quick flash of something. All right. Or if it's clairaudient, it'll be loud in my ear, because that's what I need to take notice. They may do that to other people. They may not. It depends on what you need, how prepared you are to listen. As much as me doing this for a living, I don't always listen. I go off on my little human tangent and then find I should have listened to them in the first place. But anyway, that's life. So it's all about just being open. Sometimes they'll show me things out of comic books. Like I'll see words written in those little spiky bubbles or in thought bubbles, things like that. It's however you are receptive to seeing the information is how you're going to read it. They're just reminding me. Sometimes they say to people, when you're training yourself, if you want to work with claircognizance, is to have one of the old-fashioned blackboards in your mind. So you've got this little blackboard, like I'm seeing mine right now, literally black with a wooden frame around the outside, and ask your guides to write on it. All right, it can be when you're asleep and it's there when you wake up with the writing, or it can be during the day. So it's finding these little tools and techniques and things that you can use. There's a bajillion of them online. So if you type in claircognizance, skills to develop claircognizance, you will find lots of different activities you can use. All right, keep it simple, practice it every day. Doesn't mean sitting there all day, but just be aware. You know, you've said to your guides, an exercise bike is always a good example. I needed an exercise bike for various reasons, and I just put it out there to the universe. All right, I found a couple online. They weren't meant for me because they just got sold too quickly. But asking and then being aware, it did end up coming my way, which was really good. And it was a really good exercise bike. I'm still using it. which is good. So what else have I got? Eyes open and closed. Sometimes when you're doing the seeing sense, with any of these senses, you're going to find that you might have some physical symptoms that come with them. You might get mild headaches when you start developing and working with these clair senses. They're not going to stay, right? It's your body adjusting. It's your pineal gland opening up. It's your third eye and your brow chakra getting ready to show you the information. It's about just staying calm, saying be hydrated, not dehydrated. Make sure you drink plenty of water, get plenty of sleep. This is pretty basic information. Eat a good diet, all of those sorts of things. And then make sure that you are just looking after yourself, because you will get mild headaches. You might get a pressure when you're developing your clair through here. Sometimes you can get like a pressure here in this point, where you feel like someone's pressing their thumb into your forehead. It will pass, right? It's your body and your energy field adjusting to your energy focusing and working in a different way. All right, so you can look up the symptoms online. If you're concerned, see your doctor. Always say see your doctor if you need to, but just be aware there can be some little shifts in your energy that can make you feel a bit unsteady. So eat good food and make sure you drink plenty of plain water or water with lemon juice. Can never get enough water. Clairaudient. Okay, that's the hearing sense. So it's the ability to hear voices, words, music, thoughts. Sometimes you can hear action. Sometimes you can hear things that are happening in movies without actually seeing them. That's pretty weird. I get that sometimes. Like I'm hearing this stuff going on, but I can't actually see the picture here. So I have to focus extra hard on the hearing side of it. Like I was saying before, sometimes they'll yell at you if you're not listening. I tend to get male voices. Some people will get female voices. Doesn't matter. It's just a way of them transferring the information to you. And when you start working with your clairaudience, you will pick up on particular tones that keep coming through. I know when I have a certain guide, because I have many guides that help me with different aspects of my life. I know when a particular guide comes through because I'll hear their voice in a certain way. It'll sound a certain way, okay? And it'll have a certain either gentle tone, or it will be quite gruff, or it'll be you just damn well need to listen, because that's what I need to make me focus, because I'm a little bit scatty sometimes. But that's okay. We're all a bit different. Sometimes it can be like having a normal conversation with a person sitting next to you. I used to be in another place of employment, and I'd be having this conversation standing at the photocopier. People would be looking at me like, she's a bit strange. Oh, don't worry about that, because, you know, I do strange things and have an unusual occupation, which I love, love, love doing. But you're just having a conversation. You know, like I was saying in another video, if you're in a spiritual plateau and nothing's happening at the moment, just keep talking to your guides. Get back to basics, do your meditation, your visualization, and talk to your spirit guides. They're always there. Even if they've put you on a rest period for the moment, they're always there. All right. You can use them as sounding boards. If you need to vent and you don't want to do it in front of living people for fear of it being shared, or you just don't want to share stuff with people sometimes, just talk to your guides. All right. Just do it, because it works. It gets it off your chest. It gets it out of your energy field, and then you've created a clean space for yourself to work from. Okay. Let's not get too far off topic. All right, I think I've pretty much covered clairaudience. So basically today I'm just covering some of the things that you will notice when you start using these particular senses. And like I said before, you can get online and look up all sorts of different activities. I'm putting out something next year that is going to be full of activities to do with all these different senses and a heap of other information. It's a project I'm working on at the moment, which is quite exciting. Okay, clairtangency, this is why I've written these down, because I'm just not going to remember the names, is touching, holding, feeling. Now, this goes with the feeling sense. So for me, my whole body does the clairtangency. It's not just picking up this pendulum or picking up this drink bottle and picking up information. I can go and sit in a chair at the hairdressers or go to the movies, and I'm going to feel the energy of the person that was there before me. Not everyone's like that. So I'm not trying to frighten people or put you off, but that's my particular level of sensitivity. So it goes with the clairtangency. You'll hear people talk about psychometry. So all psychometry is, I've got a crystal here, I'll just pick this up. So say this crystal belonged to someone's friend and they go, oh, can you do a reading for my great auntie's given me permission to do a reading for you, or for me to do a reading for them, and this was her crystal. So what I'll do is I'll hang on to the crystal and then I'll sit with it and just see what comes to me, and the person's name. They're saying to me, I like the person's name. Sometimes I might change hands, sometimes I'll just hold it, and you'll get information from objects. This is a really cool thing to practice when you're in an op shop, or you go into your children's bedroom, you know, you pick up one of their toys. How does it feel? What are you picking up? Is it hot, cold? Do they feel like they're miserable at the moment? And you don't know why you're saying that, but just trust it. When you start using these senses, I'll put that crystal down now. There we go. When you start using these senses and you're working with your intuition, you take the first thing that comes into your brain, all right? Because that is the information from your intuition. The very first thing you get in those 3 to 5 seconds, if you wait any longer, that is your mind kicking in, and it's going to bring in all sorts of other stuff that's going to make you doubt the information that you just got. So always take that first bit of information that comes to you. You pick up an object and go, oh, that person's got something that's going to happen later on in the day. All right? If you want to tell someone, make sure you ask permission to tell them first. Or if they've given you permission anyway and you're doing a reading. I used to do readings and hang on to people's watches, and they'd be sitting in front of me, or a ring, or they'd give me their car keys because they'd want to see how psychometry worked. And I'd go, okay, hand me your car keys just for a moment. And I'd sit and I'd hang on to them. And total strangers, and you're telling them all these things about themselves from their car keys, and they're like, what? It's really funny when you start using all these things. So it's basically just tuning into people's energy on objects. All right, that's clairtangency. Nearly done. Clairgustance. I don't use this one, but we'll talk about it anyway. Is the ability to tangibly receive taste sensations. When we were at the old hospital up in Queenstown, where I do some tours occasionally with a friend, we do sort of paranormal psychic tours. We had some people going to a particular room and they're going, I can smell liniment. You know, I can smell that stuff they rub on your skin. It was in the physiotherapy room, which was really, really interesting because I hadn't picked that up because I don't get the smells. And this lady was going, but I can smell it. And we didn't tell the next group, and then they were smelling it as well. So some people are naturally attuned to smelling things, all right? So there's not a lot to talk about on these ones. Sometimes a past loved one will come to you through a smell, like grandma's perfume or the roses she used to grow in the garden, or my grandfather used to smoke cherry tobacco. So occasionally I would smell cherry tobacco, and no one smokes here. And I'm like, oh, it's so nice to have you here. How are you? I hope you're well. You know, so sometimes you can get those memorable smells come up from family members when they want to communicate with you. And if you want more information, ask them to come and talk to you in your dreams, because that is the easiest way. Or go and see a medium, someone that can tune into family members and get your information that way. Okay, last but not least, clairaudience. Alliance, I think that's how you say it, can't remember, is the smelling sense. So this is being able to smell, here we go, smell specific smells without there being something present. All right, like seriously, I think I've just talked about that. I've got confused here. I've mixed them both up. Doesn't matter. You've got the idea. Clairgustance is about the tasting sense, picking up things through taste. I think I jumped into this one earlier. Doesn't matter. See, we all make mistakes. No editing in my videos. Clairaudience is the smelling, which is talking about the liniment that I was just mentioning. So basically, spirits will send you messages through taste or smell. You just go with the flow. With whatever your skills are at present, you can ask for other clairsenses. So how to develop your clairsenses? First of all, you need to make sure that you ground and protect your energy whenever you're doing any spiritual work, because you need to look after your physical organic body as you are zooming off into the universe to do your work. All right, so we need to look at doing grounding and protection exercises. So trust and have faith and be patient. Just because you ask for clairaudience on a Wednesday doesn't mean you're going to have it by Friday. Like, seriously, you have to have patience and you have to do the homework. All right, you can use different things like meditation. You can have a go at manifesting what you want, asking the question, write it down so you get the wording right, because it's all about the wording. Raising your vibration. This is what I've been doing for the last probably 20 years plus, is raising my vibration within my energy field. The more you raise your vibration, the quicker and easier you tune in to using your psychic senses. Okay, like seriously, it's just amazing. Raising your vibration, practicing psychometry and photo reading. So as I was talking before about, picking up the drink bottle and going, oh, what am I feeling? What am I knowing? What's coming to me from a physical object. You can also do that with a photo. But you never pass on the information, like I said, unless you've been given permission by the person that's asking, or if you just pick up a photo somewhere, just tune in. Okay? I always ask permission from the person's higher self first, if I'm allowed to tune in, all right, because I'm big on asking permission. And just see what information. You can do this online. There's a few Facebook pages. When I first started this work, I joined a few Facebook pages and I practiced reading photos, and they were asking for, what are you getting from this photo? So it was okay to put it online. All right, it was a practice site. So you'd look at the photo. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? Is the person telling you anything? Do you have a pain somewhere? What do they have a message for the person, the living person who's posting the photo? All right. So it's about practicing and trying different things. Okay. Daily commitment. So this all falls back into the homework category, is doing the practice. Right. We don't develop these things unless we do the practice. Seriously. I've done so much practice, and your spiritual path never stops. I was talking about this with a friend the other day. It doesn't stop. You don't get to enlightenment and then it stops. You'll get to a certain point of raising a vibration and then you'll keep going. You keep learning. You keep learning till the day you die, and then you come back and do your next lifetime if that's what you believe in, and then you keep learning. We've all got a lot to learn. All right, we never know it all. And that's the fun part, is the journey. That is the fun part of doing the learning, all right, and building your skills and being chuffed that you've just been able to tell someone about their cat who passed away and they're really sad and missing them. It's amazing what you can do when you practice with your psychic senses. All right, what else have I written down? Okay, and most of all, have fun. This is the thing. For me, when I'm teaching people about psychic development, it's about doing the homework and having fun doing it. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. Like, seriously, you're not going to learn anything if you're stressed or tired or literally don't want to be there. So have fun doing it. I mean, I'm 52, and I, as you can tell by my energy, sometimes my mental state is that of a 6-year-old, because 5 and 6-year-olds are loving life. They're in a joyful state of happiness, and I'm getting a big yes on that. That is when your guides, angels, archangels can actually connect with you more, is when you're open and in that childlike state of happiness. Like, seriously, just be happy. Just get rid of all the drama in your life. Okay, last thing before I go. Remember, higher spiritual beings, I'm just going to read this as I've written it because I'm getting tired. Higher spiritual beings guide, encourage, and make useful suggestions, all right, to enhance your life and your direction. Their energy feels light and loving, all right? Their energy makes you feel protected and supported, all right? If you've got something else there, which I've talked about earlier, there's all sorts of energies in the universe. Higher spiritual beings do not demand, use negative words, or pressure you to do things. Your guide will go, oh, here's an option. I think you can do that. Go and have a go. That's what you're going to get from a guide. They're not... Sorry, I had a little glitch there in the video, but all's good now. So just remember to be positive when you're working with your spirit guides and when you're working with your psychic senses. Have fun and just enjoy the process of the learning, all right? do your homework and have fun with it. If you have any questions, anything you want to say, you can write it down in the comments section. If you'd like to subscribe, please feel free to. If you'd like to like my video, that'd be fabulous. And I will be back soon with another spiritual topic. Management usually divines what I'm supposed to talk about. All right, so thank you very much for tuning in today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.